Good evening, folks, and welcome to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will discuss all things paranormal. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now, for lead investigator and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and co-host, Michael Delcoro.
Happy Monday, everybody. What's up? I'm Eric. I'm your host for the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and the team leader for War Party Paranormal Research. And over here I got...
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Mike Delcoro. I'm a case manager, tech specialist, and investigator with War Party Paranormal and your co-host. So we got a pretty awesome show for you guys tonight. Pretty excited. We got a really cool guest, and I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into tonight.
Yeah, we definitely got an awesome show. By the way, I'm still thinking about our investigation that we had last Saturday.
Yeah, that was
at the Gold Coast. So get ready for our part 2 on the Gold Coast. We heard a disembodied voice. All kinds of things were happening. So yeah,
that disembodied weird scream at the end of the night. That was
wild. Know. You guys were on one side and I was on the other side. We both heard it. That's crazy, right? But anyway,
nuts.
We got a really good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about skunk ape. Yep, that's right. We talked about it before, but we got a special guest that's going to talk about it. And we have Bigfoot Stacy. He's from OutKast Paranormal. And he's a pretty interesting guy. I mean, he changes things up. He does, the paranormal stuff, Sasquatch, skunk ape hunting. He's got some great evidence that we're going to show. And he also has a new video that's out on Amazon Prime called The Skunk Ape Experiment. So you guys got to check it out because I saw it and it was pretty awesome, pretty freaky too. So if you like that kind of stuff, you got to watch it. So I'm not going to waste any more time, and I'm going to start off with a little intro. And that intro is going to be about the skunk ape. Can't even talk today. Skunk Ape Experiments. Say that like 5 times real fast, right? All right, let's let this roll.
So, here we are, questioning our life choices and what people we consider our friends.
That thing's huge, bro. I don't know what that is.
But maybe the point of having friends is to push you beyond the boundaries of where you feel comfortable. Because that's where I am right now.
Making their way to the same exact spot we saw that Bigfoot 7 years ago, which is crazy.
And the cause of death was essentially a broken neck.
And how did you even notice him? How could you not? 8 foot tall.
The reason why I think it cursed me is because I've seen so many of them.
We're not trying to sneak past the guard. Our goal is to push this fucker into the field where Bill will be set up and waiting.
Whatever it is, it's coming from like essentially where that bale of hay is. We're about to do something that we've kind of done before, but never to this level, dude.
You're going to take ritual magic and drugs together.
You need to leave an offering, like I'm telling you.
Until you see it, it means nothing. You know what I'm saying? I need to let people know that this is real.
Hey, I need all you guys to move through now. Whoever's going, go through now.
But, at least when I'm done, I'd balls of steel.
Pretty badass, right?
Very, very cool. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, so let's not waste any time and bring our man here. What's up, Stacy?
What's up, fellas?
How we doing, brother?
Doing, man. How are y'all?
Good. Coming on the show. We finally meet up.
Yes, sir. Virtually.
Yeah, right. It's funny, like Stacy's always messaging me, hey, you know any places that have poltergeist activity? And I'm like,
yeah, we were talking about the Devil Tree a while back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been into like the paranormal side too long. You know what I mean? Just a few years. So I'm not really. I just figured there were more haunted houses than there, were Like it'd be more available. It seems up in the Northeast, like you can rent a haunted house out every 50 miles, down in Florida, it's not so much the thing. There's only really like a few places, unless you got like inside knowledge. I got like 2 of those places. So
Right.
besides that, it's like, man,
Yeah,
hard to come across.
Yeah, because of the fact that, we're not as old as, down here, except for like Key West and St. Augustine, all those places and stuff like that. But a lot of the other stuff doesn't have the history that goes back as far as a lot of the other states,
Right.
But there is a lot going on, if you, like you said, with local knowledge and things like that. A lot of the Indian burial grounds that are scattered everywhere, seem to bring in a lot of energy and things like that. Have you noticed anything like that up north where you're at?
Yeah, one of the spots that we go to is the burial ground. It's mounds. So the other place we got is where we're having the conference is like a 12,000 square foot bar. Been here since like the 40s, I think. And at one point it was like some guy just had it, but he would like wayward people would come through. He let them stay for months or however long. They had to work the place, and I guess just been some terrible stuff go down there through the years, so that's a pretty active spot. Besides that, it's like really, I don't know. I figured more people be open to that, to like paranormal stuff than they are, because like in the Northeast, it seems like everybody's a witch. Everybody, every female you talk to, she's, her great whatever died at the Salem witch trials. So it seems it's more taken in up there.
Yeah, down here we have like Santeria and voodoo down here in Miami. So,
well, not up here, man. This is like
that's the South.
We got
Tallahassee.
Baptists.
Yeah, they're very strict. I told you I worked in Crawfordville, so they're like, that's Bible Belt right there.
It is.
Yeah, I own
very judgmental.
Yeah, I got property up in by St. Cloud and out in Hollopaw, by Kenansville. Yeah, I got property up there, and used to hunt and stuff up that way a lot.
Have you ever checked out that there's supposed to be like a really haunted place near Tallahassee? It was like a boys like detention center, like really old. I think it's called Dozier.
Dozier School for Boys, right?
Yeah. I've tried to get in there, but they've shut it down to the public. I guess they tore it down. I guess now they've torn the thing down.
Oh.
That's unfortunate because all the good places they tear down.
Yeah, well, as soon as they found all them bodies, they like locked the place down, and now you can go there if you trespass. But the police station's right next door.
There, right?
You know what I mean? It's like literally you can see the police station when you're going into the place. I'm like, no, I'm good on that. I ain't trying to go to jail in Mariana.
Yeah, that's true. They'll probably lock you up in that same place.
Dude, yeah, the things they will make you do.
Yeah. Well, what we used to do is there used to be a place in Belle Glade, the Belle Glade Correctional Facility.
Right.
It's just south of Okeechobee. It's like in the middle of sugarcane. And they just recently tore that down. But that place was super active. And they were doing satanic rituals in the prison chapel there. And there was like a lot of weird stuff going on in there. Then before that, they had the Women's Correctional Facility in Broward County.
Right.
Where they tore that down. And you remember, I don't know if you heard of Eileen Warnos. She was a woman serial killer. She hitchhiked the highways. And
you ever seen that movie Monster?
Yeah.
I heard about that.
That's
that
her.
movie was based
on
her.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. She was locked up there. And I mean, she was executed in Stark, but we used to get a lot of stuff in that correctional facility.
You guys like to do a lot of different experiments and push the limits with things, right? Like really, really kind of go where a lot of people won't go, right? I mean, as far as the experiments.
Because I mean, like, we've all got the same equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You got the same equipment I got. You know what I mean? There's one company that's just like got the market cornered pretty much, and for the most part, you have your various spirit boxes. You have your various EMF meters, your various REM pods, and outside of that, there's not a whole lot else. You know, I have your trigger items and stuff of that nature, but they're all kind of using the same thing. How do we know? I have a problem with like this being considered proof or something like that. Like while, on the spirit box, I've had some sessions where I felt like I had conversations, so I'm not saying it doesn't happen or the meter doesn't happen to go off when I ask it to, like it's being manipulated.
Yeah.
But that's never going to prove nothing to nobody. Right. And I don't know. I'm just more of, I guess we want more of an experience. How about that? It's like people be like, hey, well, I can conjure up a demon, and I'm the guy that's like, all right, show me. Let's do this. Let's sit down and watch.
Yeah, I'm the same way. We're very skeptical. We have to see it to believe it. But we've seen some weird things. But that's the way most people think, anyway. And that's our ultimate goal, right? Like we're doing research to try to find evidence that's concrete to show people that the stuff here is real.
And unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever actually be able to do that.
Probably when we die, we will.
Yeah, besides
we'll be in their
that,
realm.
Well, but like doing psychedelics and doing stuff like that, it's going to be a personal experience for you. It's not really something you can prove. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have this personal experience. So what if you can't prove? You prove it yourself.
The personal experience is like the overall thing you really want. And I mean, you can't explain it to people, but what happened.
And like you said, with psychedelics, different things like that, shamans and different cultures and tribes and stuff have been doing stuff of this nature for centuries. And
all over the world.
Have you ever looked into, like, I'm sure about the like DMT and all the things that these, and a lot of people report having the exact same experience where there's entities there that they're communicating with, and there's like multiple, like 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 entities, and everybody reports the same, almost the same or similar type experience, which is very strange to me.
Right. We had a thing we filmed. It's going to be coming out. We filmed like a few films. We've got like 5 or 6 films that are in the can. We just have to put them together. And one of them, we went to a guy named David Eckhart's house, and now he has been long-term abduction. For the longest time, he's been having these things come and take him. And it's to the point where he keeps a taser beside his bed. So when he feels them taking him, he'll hit himself in the neck with it if he can. And like tase, it's crazy as hell. But anyway, so we left a gamma ray meter there, and like 10 to 20 is like normal. 50, you're supposed to get out of the area, but it spiked in his bedroom where he said this portal opens up that they come through. It spiked in his bedroom at like 2:30. And like this is all like we've been constantly having months of data just run through his house. This has been going on almost a year. Like we're going to be able to put it on the computer and see the whole graph and see where the spikes were. And he's been writing down when he's been taken and shit like that. So they should coincide. But it spiked to like 2:30 and said, contact your government. But back to your question about the DMT, we actually, some of the fellows on the team smoked DMT with him, and they all seen the portal. You know what I mean? Now,
really, they all had the same experience,
right? It's similar, not the same exact, but
very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very. It shouldn't have been that similar. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because think about it, right? This water bottle is here because we know it's here because we can touch it with our hands, we can see it with our eyes, we can taste it with our mouth. But just because we have the sensors to tell that this is here, the human body doesn't have possibly some sensors to pick up some things that are around us that might be here that we just don't know that are here. You know what I mean? And some people can, and some people possibly can't, or possibly can, or say they can. It's hard for me to believe that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. I'm a little skeptical about it, but I've had some, because I can't tell it, I can't experience it, so it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. But we have some team members that are on the team that are sensitive or psychic abilities and different things, and it's really surprising to watch some of the stuff that goes on, and it really kind of changed my whole way of thinking. Like with Joe, you know, one of my good buddies, teammate, he always thought that he was like a little sensitive, like he could feel stuff when he was in areas, but now he's working and training and like doing stuff, and literally he told me the other day, like you said, you know, he's like, man, I was doing an exercise where I was communicating with somebody through Zoom, you know, and they were drawing something, and I was like just kind of like zoning out and trying to image, you know, what it was that they were drawing, and he was not nailing it, but like very, very, very close to like picking up parts and pieces and stuff of what was going on. So I said, hey, let's try it. He was like, oh, all right. So we tried it, and yeah, I mean, it blew my mind. So that's,
you know, it's always like, you're like, well, I don't know if I
still
buy
can't wrap
into
my
it.
mind around it.
But it's always good to have people on your team, whether you get into that, whether you believe in what they're doing or not. That's the thing with our group.
We're very diverse.
Right? We're like a think tank.
Yeah.
Right. So we're always coming up with these different experiments to try, see if we can get evidence of whatever we're after. And a lot of the stuff that we did in the Skunk Ape Lives, I didn't agree with. You know, I didn't subscribe to some of those theories, but we did them anyways to see what happens. Because shit, I may be wrong.
So, what were your thoughts when you first started looking into Skunk Ape and Sasquatch?
So I thought I was looking for just a normal bipedal ape. You know, when the sighting I had, it looked like that. It didn't look like anything else. There was nothing strange about it. And then over the years, it just kind of turned into this thing now that I don't know what the hell these things are.
And there's a lot of different views on them as well. I mean, you know, some people think it's related to, it's like some type of lost primate,
right?
That, you know, can easily hide, and they're in vast areas. And other people think they're related to UFOs.
Right.
They say that,
or dimensional.
Yeah, and they can go through different portals. Now, what I thought was interesting was you were opening up a portal, and it's not like portal most people would think of to like sort of, was it you were trying to attract the skunk ape?
Well, so what we were doing more or less was trying to open a portal so somebody could see through it and connect with them like that. Connect with the skunk ape like that. Because we had a psychic there who claimed she could do it. She had connected with the skunk ape before, but you know, you have those people that are thinking it's some lost primate. My main issue with that is if it, like, unless there's some massive government cover up, these things would be in a zoo right now. Like they're too big. Sure. People are seeing how many, or they're seeing them all the time. There's too many sightings.
Right.
Like literally, if it was like I can hunt. I'm not the world's best hunter, but if I want to go in and kill something, I can go in there and kill it. And I couldn't do that with this. It was always eluding you. It was always like, now your equipment goes dead. Oh, now you see in the lights. It seems to vanish, you know, and there was a lot of things that just, because the Bigfoot community is a very, I guess, particular community. I'm finding out like UFO community and the ghost community are kind of the same. They're kind of all these little cliques. But the Bigfoot clique, you have these scientists who continue to push this idea that this is a primate, or these scholars, PhDs, stuff like that. But we don't have nothing for evidence. Like the best evidence to come out of the last 60 years since the Patterson-Gimlin footage was my dad's thermal. Everything else, like, because we had the handy cam of that, and then we had Cliff Barackman's outside report on that. Doing the size and all that.
I was going to say why that's fresh in our mind, and you just mentioned that. I think we have a clip of that.
We do have a clip of a thermal.
I think that's.
I don't know which one it is, but you'll see it, and maybe you can explain it.
Let's roll it.
Okay, here we go. It is right here.
Okay, I wanted to bring some attention back to this piece of footage that a buddy of mine, David Lauer, caught in North Florida. I personally believe this to be a skunk ape, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. I'll let him tell you how it all went down. I'll play his interview I got of him immediately after it was recorded, and make a judgment for yourself. It is a pretty cool piece of footage, and I feel that it, probably something you guys want to look at. So,
I'm David Lauer with the Apalachicola Skunk Ape Project, and today is October 16th, 2016. Early this morning, approximately 12:13 a.m., I was in my position at one of our habituation tracks, the same tract of land where we recovered tracks no less than 3 weeks ago. We had some amazing activity. Last night I captured on thermal what I believe is to be a Sasquatch. I was here in position. I was gathering things to start a fire right here. And I'm down here and I'm getting my leaves in a pile, and I hear movement behind me. As I hear movement, I grab my FLIR, I turn it on, and I start recording. I stood up, I turned around, and I started panning. What I heard was some movement up on the top of the ridge and what sounded like a buck grunt. As I was panning from my right to my left, and I captured on FLIR what I believe to be a Sasquatch looking right at me. It looked at me, I filmed it, it turned, and it ran. I then chased it up the hill, this steep embankment here.
now we believe this is the position where the subject was standing. It's about 50 yards from David. You can see him down there.
So yeah, someone was asking if that was a hot or cold signature.
That was hot.
It had to be hot because it's
it was hot because it was orange. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one is actually one we captured in, I think, 2016. That's not the one I'm talking about. But anyways, that one, I mean, even the problem was we didn't really, because there's so many bushes there, you could only see like parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you actually freeze the frames, you can see these branches going on in there. So it kind of ruled out a lot of it. So, I mean, we believe that one was a skunk ape, but that one went off, and it was like there for 2 weeks, and then it just left.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Somebody had an encounter, which was another weird thing. Like when they had their encounter, their truck alarm just started going off all of a sudden, and they had a Range Rover. So, or maybe it was a Land Rover. So one you take in the woods, not on the streets, whichever one that is. But anyways, he had this big ass truck, and they're sitting there at the cabin, and that thing just starts going off, and it's up the hill. So they walk up there to it, no reason for it, and then as they're there, they encounter 2 Sasquatch.
Oh wow!
And yeah, these are big old dudes, and they got scared pretty bad. So we think that was one of them that we're able to get.
Now, what's the difference of like a Sasquatch, skunk ape? It's the same type of breed or a different type of breed?
Well, so I think they're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like with the white-tailed deer. White-tailed deer are drastically smaller here than they are in other parts of the country,
right.
And it's that Bergman's law. So the closer you get to the equator, the smaller everything gets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's it. But then again, some people actually talk about like this orangutan-looking creature.
I actually have a picture of that, the Mayaka.
Yeah, so I get reports, a few reports that look like this thing.
I'm going to pop it up on the screen. So
yeah, go ahead.
If people aren't familiar with the Mayaka, supposedly Mayaka skunk ape, it was submitted to a police station in Sarasota, and that's it here.
Yeah, so I think this is fake. I think somebody faked this. It looks a lot like an orangutan. It looks nothing like what I saw, and 90% of the reports I get are like more of a Bigfoot type creature. who knows? I did
Yeah,
get a call like last year from some guy claiming that it's his family, and that's from a video. They had the video of it, and he could take me everywhere. And then my mom got in a car wreck. Right, she had a head-on collision with an F-250. Was in the hospital, and so I didn't call the guy for like a month.
Sorry to hear that.
Then I finally hit him up. Right, it's like this 26-year-old cat like starts lecturing me on, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. You didn't call me back. I'm like, bro, you know,
Yeah.
he's like, you should be more professional. I was like, what the hell is going on right now, dude? All right, cool, go ahead.
Now, did they have different vocals? Do they sound different?
To my knowledge, no. You know,
Okay.
everything I heard in California and around the country, it's
Similar.
all the same down here. You know, the
Okay, 'cause
knocks, all that.
You were just recently on a show I saw with Discovery Plus. You were out there, I believe, in California, and finding Bigfoot.
No. Right. See, we filmed some show. I was with Justin Smaya, and we were going over an encounter we had, but they took us back to the spot, had us go through our encounter, and then they tested some DNA.
Okay, yeah, with the water.
Yeah,
there's like a stream there.
Yeah.
But I got a couple of clips of vocals. It sounds pretty freaky, but I want everyone to hear that so they can get an idea. I like this one right here.
Started going on with that fucking behind. Where'd that come from? That's it. Is it out there? Yeah. I think it was. That's another one. That's two. Yeah, that's a different one. Yeah. This one's closer. Yeah. The fuck is that, dude? Owls don't do that. Is he recording this? It's not an owl. I just recorded it if I can pick it up. I'll call him. Just keep that thermal, cause I'll call him. Yeah. They mock owls, that's what they do. And that's that. It's a deeper sound and it's not as long. Huh? That's it. Uh-huh. Holy shit, that's cool as hell, man.
Yeah.
Where is that ramp camp?
That's up here in the Osceola Wildlife Management area.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's the audio doesn't pick it up like you hear it.
Right,
it's
right.
The problem. That's actually a lot deeper, and you hear the volume change because I've got that clip amplified.
Yeah, that boosted up so you can hear it a little better.
You know, because we didn't really hear it that well. It was just in a voice recorder that was on the guy's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like, you know, it's probably really close to the same ones you're using in haunted houses, and we're trying to record something that's
right,
you know, fucking 100 yards away, 50 to 100 yards away. So it really doesn't come in like when you're there, but in the moment, you know, that's always very exciting.
No, and you could definitely hear that, and that's not something like I've ever heard before. And I've spent a lot of my young adult life in the woods up in Central Florida, and I've never heard anything like that. That's pretty wild. You know, I used to do like a lot of hunting and stuff, and the only experience that I ever had when I was up in Mayo, Florida, up by Rosewood.
Oh,
there.
right on. I was there the other day.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nobody really knows about Mayo. You know, I guess there's a little towny town there. My buddy had a camp up there, and we were driving up. It was late, like I don't know. I want to say it was like 3 a.m. We're on like a 2-lane little road in the middle of the woods, nowhere, heading up there, and we barely caught it out of the corner of our eye. It was about 2 foot long and about 3-inch thick log. I wouldn't even call it a log, big stick, small log.
Right.
But came flying out of from the the woods on the right-hand side and kind of came up right past the passenger window and hit the mirror and the side of the truck. And then we both were like, what in the hell was that? Somebody threw that? We're like, there ain't nobody out here. It's 3 a.m. in the woods. He goes, you want to stop and check the truck? And we're like, let's stop down there. You know, but so we drove a little while, stopped, pulled over, looked, and yeah, the truck had a dent in it and a scratch, and you could see where it hit. And there was no possible way that was thrown.
Right.
But we don't know, you know, was there some crazy meth head throwing stuff out in the side of the road? I don't know, but that was strange. And I didn't see anybody. There wasn't anybody around. I don't know why somebody would be out there with no light on at that time of night in the middle of nowhere like that. So that was very odd to me.
Yeah. Sorry, I just read that comment. Mayo changed their name to Miracle Whip. But yeah, dude, so many people have stories like that. And if this was the Northeast and they were all ghost stories, everybody would openly talk about them. But we are in BFE in the South. No, the people down here are so much different. They don't talk about this stuff. Like,
there's all kinds of shit here.
Yes, you know, if people would just report what they've seen, what's going on, because they're seeing other stuff than Bigfoot. They're just
well, recently there's been a lot of UFO sightings down here where we live, especially where
that's another thing. There's a ton of UFO sightings going in the state, abductions, all kinds of stuff.
We have some of the most well documented reported sightings in the world here in Florida.
Sightings.
Right.
The Tic Tac UFO sightings.
I've seen and Stacy, before we were on the show here, we were kind of talking backstage, and you're a fisherman, and you worked on boats and fished and stuff, and so have I. And have you ever seen anything at night out on board?
Nope. That sucked, because that was the one thing I was like, just come and abduct us. You know what I mean? Like. But I also would think about that, you know, because like, what if you woke up and everybody on your boat was abducted, and then you're just left with the boat, and then you gotta, because their blood's on the boat at some point. They've cut their finger or something every trip. Everybody's blood's on somewhere on that boat. You got to explain, hey, the other 3 dudes is gone. It's just me. I guess aliens took them.
Yeah,
they would lock you up.
Like the movie Fire in the Sky.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happened with
Travis Walton.
Walton. He's on this network. He comes on as guest on some of the other shows on this network on KGRA. Travis Walton. Yeah. I mean, imagine that, right? And for you guys that aren't familiar with that story, it's a very long story. I'm going to make it as short as possible. Basically, like Stacy just said, guys were working lumberjacks, and their friend, or not friend, actually, they didn't really like one. They were fighting and they didn't get along, most of them. But they came back from working out in the woods at night, came back without Travis, and he was gone. And then the cops and everybody started asking, where the hell is he? What's going on? He got abducted by aliens. They're like, yeah, right. Okay, you guys are going.
Like, when are you guys
all
right,
come
something?
On. But then he showed up like a week later, naked, in a gas station, like next to a gas station, and he started having flashbacks and remember and everything. It was wild. So yeah, imagine that on the boat. Holy shit, that would be freaky, man.
I think he made a guest role on Close Encounters of the Third Kind too.
Did he?
I think he has a guest role in there.
He looks like Kenny Powers. Like if you've seen Eastbound and Down, and then you look at Travis Walton, because I'm speaking at Phenomicon with him, and I seen his picture up there. I'm like, whoa, dude, you look like Kenny Powers. It was pretty funny. But yeah, man, the coolest things I ever seen when I was on the boat was a rainbow where it met the water, like where it ends. We were coming up on it, and the way it made the water look was like we were about to hit ground. Like it was really shallow, like shoals or something like that. And then as we went through it, like this, you could see all the salt particles and stuff that were floating. I guess that's what that was, floating in the air. It was all different colors and stuff. And then, then a water spout.
Those are cool.
Not when they're like running with the boat.
That's not
like,
cool.
Only that a little bit far away, and you're like, all right, hey, maybe we should get the life jackets on.
Yeah,
definitely.
I worked with this crazy guy when I was younger, and I was working on a drift boat, and Dwight was the captain's name, and there was a water spout right next to us, a small one, and we were picking up the move. He's like, let's go through it. I'm like, let's go. And because and we started motoring right towards it, and we were getting ready to go through it, and it kind of dissipated. It was a small little guy, but he was wild. He was like, let's go through it. But
by the way,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the original thing I was getting to was like with offshore there, seeing stuff at night. Like we see a lot of orange glowing orbs like at night in the sky. Like I've seen them a couple times. Joe has seen them. They look like the only way I could describe them. Have you ever seen them? It would look like a Chinese lantern, like it's like a flickering red light.
Right,
and then I've looked on MUFON as well. Like when I saw it, I thought that's what it was. I was like, it's probably a Chinese lantern or something. But I went to MUFON and I looked up the other sightings in the area, and a lot of people report that same orange glowing deal. But that's down here south. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that up there.
No, I mean, I would look and I would see things because you could see every star on the, in the galaxy when you were out there, and there was no light pollution. You're 100 miles offshore. There's nothing out there.
Yeah.
And you would see stuff moving, but it could be a plane, could be a satellite. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I ain't really got time to carry no binoculars or nothing that I can't go bringing all that weird shit on the boat. If I tell the captain I'm out there, I'm gonna stay up another 4 hours and watch UFOs. He'd be pissed off. So,
hey, make an interesting trip. I'm sure it gets boring every now and then.
Dude, I brought yellow slickers or like a yellow apron one time. So I lost mine, and I picked it up on the way down to the boat. And yellow is like bad luck. So like I go in to tie some more hooks up, and I come out and my apron's gone. I was like, where's my apron? He's like, you can use mine. And I said, no, where's my I just bought one. He's like, oh, you ain't got it no more. I'll add it to your check. I was like, oh, all right. And I had him explain it to me. He's like, that's why you ain't catching no damn fish. I was like, yeah, okay. Something was always why we wasn't catching fish.
Yeah, superstition. Yeah, the same with bananas, right?
And like women.
Yeah.
Like,
so Kindred Paranormal, they're from Gainesville. They're just south of you. They want to know where you're from. And Stacy's from Crawfordville. He's a Seminole. You're a Gator.
I am a Gator.
Oh, awesome. So am I.
First of all.
And I see you're a Dolphin fan as well.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not no damn Seminole. I can't do that.
Actually, my daughter's going to school there. She's
is she?
Second year, yeah. So I may be hitting you up next time I'm up there.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm like 30 minutes from it. So.
Oh, by the way, you got something coming up soon, right? In October.
Yes, we got the North Florida Paracon. It's gonna have some speakers, UFO people and occultists, paranormal people. We got everything.
Party Paranormal will be there.
Yes, they will. And then we're gonna have like instead of doing like VIP seats and stuff like that, our VIP event is like a ghost hunt or a Bigfoot hunt that night.
Interactive.
Yeah. So
those are the best.
Yeah, and looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually gonna because I want to make another announcement just to remind people that it's almost here. I'm invited as a guest to Para Experience 2022. I was there last year. It was in Tahoe, but this year it's going to be in Virginia City, Nevada, and we're going to have it's a paranormal event, but you get to investigate with the talent that's there. So there's going to be different paranormal groups from all over the world, all over the US that are going to be in 6 different locations, and I'll be one of them. So get your tickets. It's going to be September 16th, and it goes through Sunday. So get your tickets now. Come investigate with me. Patty Degree will be there. But yeah, I'm looking forward. That's going to be like the Disney World of investigating. We're going to take in over one big city. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be really cool. But since we're like plugging stuff, Mike, since we're at that just past that halfway point, we got to plug something real quick.
Yeah, we got to run a little thing from our sponsors here. Got to give a shout out to where credit is due. That's for sure. Yeah.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Delcoro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
So real quick, guys, the first episode of September, which is going to be the following one after Labor Day, is going to be, we're going to be raffling off a $50 gift card to one of our guests, one of our viewers. All you got to do is comment the code word from our show. And
you can enter Stacy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
A flair.
Exactly. Go ahead and enter the code word in our comments there, not in the live chat, but actually in the comments for this episode on our YouTube, and just type in Skunk Ape, and you'll be entered to win in the raffle. What's next?
I will be entering.
Yeah, do it, man.
Do it. He'll have some stuff there that you can use. Trust me.
Right on.
Yeah. So, I don't know. In the second half of this show, I want to go in a little bit deeper and a little bit darker. Talking about the experiment you did in the Skunk Ape experiment, and we were mentioning to you that we found a location that might be really good for that. Can you tell people, like, okay, so you had someone on the hallucinogenic drug?
Yeah, if they haven't seen it, like
it's not going to ruin it. You know what I mean? Because like I could tell you exactly what happens at the end, but unless you see it, you don't really
exactly.
Get you know what I mean? You got to see that.
So guys, we're gonna.
definitely
If you want to see this right now, tell the people where they could find this episode right now after the show if they want to go watch it.
Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, all the kind of pay for play.
And it's called the Skunk Ape Experiments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Skunk Ape Experiments, issue 1. It's a trilogy. I know some people, we didn't put to be continued at the end of it. I just kind of felt that it was like, open, the way it ends, it's like
left me hanging.
Right. Like, so I'm kind of figured really everybody be like, there's a number 2 coming out. When number 2's done, I'm just waiting on my graphics guy right now, and then we're gonna put that one out. So,
are you okay talking about the experiment? What you guys were doing?
Yeah, man.
It involved Aleister Crowley, and then we were talking about something like that. That after you share that, we can tell the folks what we were talking about earlier.
Right on. So basically, we were looking for a place in Mayaca City that had like UFOs, ghosts, and Bigfoot activity. And so there was this place called the Crowley Nature Museum. And so we decided to go there, and it's a place I've already been investigating for like 7 years. So I knew kind of the lay of the land and everything. And the goal was to go in the house there that was haunted and raise as much energy as we could.
Is that the place you were telling me when you were thinking about doing a Skunk Ape event where there was going to be, you said there was a house that we were going to be investigating? That was the house?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You're still going to do that, right?
We can. We usually do them around Halloween, but we didn't do one this year because they're doing the Paracon. But I know in this, like, right at the end of winter, we tend to do one, and then we do one right in October. But there's Indian mounds there. There's like all these old pioneer homes. And so they all have stuff to come with them. And then like the furniture that's in these places is all donated.
Yeah, so
it's
somebody
like
could be attached to that.
Yes, you have all this shit coming with the stuff that they put in the place. So we had a psychic there, and she had like tried to communicate with the spirits. And we had this machine from this guy named Patrick Jackson.
Yeah, explain that machine. That was really interesting.
Yeah, so his machine, he believes that like ghosts and Bigfoots are projections, right? And he said these Foo Fighters are down here extracting DNA, and when they transmit that DNA back, if you get too close to it, it'll kill you. So they put off this projection to run you away. Anyways, he built this machine that could call them in. So we had to let the machine run for a while, a few hours, and we're letting it run upstairs, and all the goats come out of their pen.
Yeah.
They're trying to get into the house, and then we couldn't get them in the house, so they got up under, or we didn't let them in the house, so they went up under us, like under our feet. And then the cattle broke out of their gate, and they're like circling the house, right? And so then the owners handle all that, and I was doing an Aleister Crowley hymn to Pan downstairs, and then RPG was upstairs mirror gazing.
Cool name, by the way.
Yeah, right. But he had taken like a microdose. So the goal was I was going to open the portal, and he was going to look into it. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully look into it to communicate with the Bigfoot, maybe find something out. And maybe he could be like, all right, hey, he just has this moment where he's like, all right, we got to go here. Something like that. And we did it. And like, it got really, really active. You won't really see what happened till the end of the second one. Like the house started shaking. Like it was weird, man. It was pretty.
Well, if you ever do that
cool.
again, I mean, we could like get our recorders and see what kind of EVPs we can get while you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be. You can do it in any place because, like, we just had never done the mushroom and the mirror gazing because, like, a lot of people talk about mirrors being portals. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all heard that.
Now, was RPG telling you like what he was seeing and experiencing?
He does. He does. And that's what our graphic artist is taking so long making. You know, what he's seeing.
Well, that's a lot of work. I saw what he did in the first one. That's really cool.
Yeah, that guy's really good. He's just works slow.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have everyone has a question. There's a question that someone asked, and everyone wants you to answer. And I know you had a psychic there when you were doing that experiment. So 305, that's a couple that's on our team, Jenny and Armando. They want to know, what do psychics think Bigfoot is?
Okay, so depends on the psychic, I guess. But Miss Phyllis, who was there with us, and now listen, I never gave psychics, a thought. Thought it was a damn sideshow snake oil salesman type deal. My bad. All right, my bad.
Me too.
So I had one of them events. Had one of them events there at Crowley, and she came and camped for the weekend, and she's like doing this light language because she's like a psychic, but she's like a psychic mainly with aliens. Okay, so she's speaking this light language with the Bigfoot. Stuff like this. I'm over here trying not to laugh, and I'm like, "Oh shit, we done got the crazy out here, y'all. Look at this!" And I'm like filming it. I'm like, "Oh, the crazy, you know."
I hope that's in the next episode.
No, I pulled that out. It made me look bad. But you know, I was sitting there and I was like making a joke of it. Well, she goes, "They left you something out there. and because of your show of respect for them every time you come here, they're going to leave you another gift. So we go out there to where she said to go, which is straight into the swamp. Like you're shin deep in the mud at one point, and then we come up on all these tracks. Like we come up on a lot of tracks. How would she have known? I promise you, she didn't get out there and do that. That place is dangerous. Like you just don't go walking off in Florida towards the river in that kind of stuff, because there's gator slides and there's all kinds of shit in there. And not be 65 years old and like walk with a cane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, you've seen her in the film. That's not something that old lady's going to do. So we go on through the rest of the trip, and I'm like, hey, what a coincidence. You know what I mean? And then we leave, and then I get a call from Dixie, the owner there, or the CEO there at Crowley. She went to the house just to make sure everything was in order, and there was a rabbit laying on a stump, like a young rabbit, not a baby, not a full-grown rabbit.
Right.
And it's just laying there dead. She's a biologist. There's no talon marks on it. There's no teeth marks. Nothing. It's perfect. It's just dead. So she calls me. She's like, "Hey," she cuts the thing open to see what killed it. It's a broken neck. She calls me thinking one of us grabbed the rabbit and broke its neck and laid it there. I'm like, Dixie, how in the hell did any of us run down a rabbit? Like, I mean, run down a rabbit. Like, go for it. Good luck to you, and if you catch a rabbit, I think it'll bite you. But anyways, that was it. That was the gift. And that was one of the deleted scenes from the film. So we are going to put that out here shortly on our YouTube. But it was when that happened, then I'm like, okay, now we need to maybe give this paranormal aspect of it a chance. And that's why we had her out there, because it was, I don't believe in coincidence anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you gotta open yourself up a little bit, because then you look past it, and it could be it's not physical evidence, but it plays a role in it.
To everybody that knew what she had said, and then to find that, like even the biologist there. She was stumped. It was like something just grabbed the rabbit, twisted its head, and then laid it down there. Know? And that was because that rabbit didn't end up, that stump's right by the steps. Like it had to be put there. So the only explanation is that Phyllis brought the rabbit with her already dead. Well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, why would you go through that?
Yeah, that's a lot to go through.
It is. I don't, maybe, but like I didn't make her famous or nothing for it. It wasn't going to get her anything. She's not going to get money for doing that. So it's,
it's
believing
like,
it was a
why
hoax.
would somebody go through the trouble for that?
To do something, of that nature.
Going back to the experiment, why the Aleister Crowley chant?
So like I was with Bill Brock. We were doing this paranormal road trip, and we were like, he wanted to try this Aleister Crowley chant. I was like, okay, I didn't know a lot at the time about Aleister Crowley, and we tried it and had some success. Like it was weird. Like all of our devices were pulsating.
Well, you did it in another place, and it affected you pretty bad.
Yeah. So like, but the next night, like, because that was in TNT area in Point Pleasant, we were looking for the Mothman. But then the next night we went to Western New York, and we're at the Wildwood Sanitarium, and we got across the direct link. It's like close the portal. We never closed the portal, and then like that night was like really, really bad. Like I could hear stuff walking up down the steps. I'm thinking about killing myself. Like I'm wanting to bash Bill's head in.
Can you freeze that thought 1 second? We're getting towards the end of the show, and we gotta do like a little public service announcement, and then we can continue. I apologize about that, but Mike's always good at saying these things. So he's got a really good voice, so I'll let him do it.
Thank you. Hey guys, just for everybody that's listening on the KGRA digital broadcasting side of things, just the audio only, you're going to be moving on to your next show in about 6 minutes here. And we really want to give a shout out to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network for hosting our show. And they have some other great episodes and other great shows on this network as well. Check them out. This is Digital Broadcasting Network for hosting our show. I'm getting like a little feedback there. But yeah,
they're coming out with a new show. It's going to be about Sasquatch. So stay tuned for that.
They talk about cryptids, UFOs, ghost hunting, all kinds of different paranormal experiences, everything like that. So check them out. Go to kgradb.com and check them out. Appreciate it, guys. And if you want, we're probably going to stay here on the social media side of things on our YouTube and chat for a little bit longer. If you're listening and you want to come join us, hop on over to the War Party Paranormal YouTube. Thank you.
Do it. All right. Sorry, Stacy.
Oh, no worries, man.
We're good now.
So yeah, like I'm sitting there, thinking bad thoughts, like very negative thoughts. And then I'd leave out of this house. As soon as the sun comes up, I'd take everything down and I go sit out in the street and like just everything releases from me. The weird part it was like, I kind of didn't want to leave the place. Wanted to get away so bad, but because we had all afternoon there. We left at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like I sat in the street waiting on Bill to get up. And we were already packed. I was like, F out of here.
You know, it's funny that you say that, right? And I've heard this a couple times in places where there was dark energy. I don't like to jump into the word demonic because we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel it's very rare, but I have heard a couple experiences like yours where they encountered something dark or something like that, and they have changed their whole mindset, suicidal thoughts, anger, pacing, and a lot of things like that. It happened to a friend of ours, his buddy at the Deviltree.
Oh, wow.
And his partner is a super nice guy. He said, and then he just got enraged and was like, we need to get the F out of here. And was like grabbing him and like shaking him and like getting like real agitated and angry. And he was having some different, crazy thoughts, things like that. So that's funny that you mentioned that because I have heard that before.
Yeah, it was strange. You know what I mean? Because like, part of me was telling me to get the F out of there, and then the other part was like, just stay and hang out, man. It's all good. You're just tripping.
Yeah. No, I can see the look on your face right now. Like, that ain't something you want to play with. I know I could tell that really affected you.
So, but either way, that was very, that was an experience, right? So that like I lended that experience, even though it was a negative one, to the chant. So I'm like, hey, I could possibly open the portal. I've done this before, and it may be a shit experience for everybody here in the house. I just didn't tell them. Yeah, so like they'll figure it out later. But we just roll with it. And
do you believe in cleansing and stuff like that?
I don't. Just because I'm like, if I can bring something home, and I can prove to myself this thing's coming in here, I'm seeing it, which I think I got a few already. So I do see like weird things and shadows and stuff.
How do you handle that?
How do you handle it, man?
Do you still see that, or do you try to get rid of it, like cleansing?
No, I don't. I don't try to get rid of it because I'm more
positivity,
right now.
The way you think, and being forceful, and
it doesn't seem to be negative. It's like doing things almost because like
playfulness.
Try to friend it. Try to make friends with it. I don't know if that's the right path to go down, but like
it could be tricking you.
It could be tricking me, but then again, I mean, whatever. I guess we'll see.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is we were earlier talking about how our team, we went to the Aerojet rocket facility, which
it all ties together with the
director
satanic worship, Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, so the director of Aerojet was Jack Parsons, who was involved with that cult. And when we went to investigate that place, we saw a lot of satanic rituals that were being done there. Also, Santeria type stuff as well. And when I learned about that, because I didn't know it when I first went there and we discovered all this stuff, I was thinking maybe somehow that's related and people know that and maybe they go there, because there's
It definitely is.
There's another Aerojet rocket facility in California, and there's a group there called Hollywood Paranormal Detectives, and the same Jack Parsons ran that place, and they say and it's abandoned, and there's all kinds of shit going on there as well. So I want to show you an intro.
We got to get you out there.
Past show, just so you get an idea what it looks like.
Yeah, play the intro, and then I want to show him that one clip that I was trying to upload when we were coming in here, and then we got to get you out there with us.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I'd love to.
We've been collaborating. We've been talking about collaborating. This would be the perfect spot. But check it out. I'm gonna let it roll right now.
Right on.
Going on a ghost hunt tonight. Aerojet rocket facility. Satanic worship. Missing bodies. Disembodied voices. Footsteps. That's what we're gonna be looking for.
Our first location brings us to Homestead, Florida, where the Aerojet rocket facility ominously sits abandoned in the 25,000 acres of swampland of the South Florida Everglades. Built in 1963, this location served as a test site for rockets meant to send out a person into space using solid-fueled engines as its power source. Unfortunately, in 1969, the funding for this test site was cut due to NASA's decision to use liquid fuels instead. Shortly after, workers were laid off and the facility was left abandoned. Urban explorers and local python hunters have reported hearing disembodied voices, as well as capturing photographs of full-body apparitions. Reports of a missing person's body being found on the property have also surfaced. One local explorer has even claimed to have stumbled across the remnants of a satanic ritual in one of the silos, which could very likely be the source of this location's paranormal activity.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Do you have permission to that place, or is that like a?
Yeah, we reached out to them, and they gave us a form for insurance, everything, and we're able to film out there if we got to get it back out to them. So if you want to do a filming event, we have the form to submit.
Right on. Yeah, dude, that place. That looks like some damn Walking Dead shit. Or
yeah, man. Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's one building that's like, it looked like the church, a satanic church. They had different rooms, and you saw a few of them where I guess they were doing some type of ritual. But there was this one room that was really odd, where the door to get in it was a metal door, was welded shut, but the room next to that room
had a window.
Had a little window where you can crawl in to get into it, and there was like a mattress there and all these weird like signs and stuff like that. When I saw that experiment, I'm like, you got to put someone in that room right there and do that.
You know, I'm wondering, like, everybody knows the Nazis started NASA.
Yes.
I'm wondering if these sites, launch sites, are like strategically, because the Nazis remained in NASA for a very long time and are probably still in it right now, if you want to be honest about it.
Absolutely. It's public knowledge, right? Once the World War II ended.
Yeah, and they were all into the occult stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, when you say that site in California has the same deal, if that's
I think so too.
Something to do with that, almost like a Easter Island or one of these ancient, sites. This is just kind of another maybe an intersection and ley lines or something like that that they deemed, you know.
And they were very secretive too. This was a secret base. This was unknown.
It's 3 miles out. Like if you can't get the permit to get through the gate, you either have to walk or take a bike 3 miles, just like a paved road. And it's open to the public, but once you get into the compound, there's signs, but there's always people there during the day, like, you know, flying drones and stuff like that. No one really says anything, but if you're actually going to film, you would need a permit, but that wouldn't be a problem because I found it through a python hunting show on Discovery Channel.
Yeah, and they reached out to us the other day. Trapper Mike, local Florida guy as well. He's on the Python Hunters on TV, and he reached out to us the other day, and he wants to collaborate with us and just talk about the experiences that we caught, show some evidence, because when they found it, and we've heard so many disembodied voices out there, it's wild, right? So Ernesto, the guy that's on our team, he's in a band, Modern Mimes. And what we tried to do was a little experiment of our own. Right before we started investigating in that room, we played a little death metal for a while on a little guitar amp on like a portal and played it before we started our investigation. Let's show a little clip of that. So we played that for a while, and then we went in, we did a portal session, some EVPs, different things, and our EDI kept going to 666, the temperature.
Oh,
like
wow.
Almost on command.
It would go up back to 70, and then we were like, can you make it go back? And it would start dropping. And I have the video, I just didn't load it up because I didn't know we were going to talk about it. But yeah, it was wild.
Right on.
And then Eric, you guys got something similar.
Yeah, we were doing the portal box session right in that room, right next to that room I was telling you about. And like how random is it to get like Satan like more than 2 times? It's pretty crazy.
Right.
Don't play that.
Do you believe in Satan? No. You say that again?
Satan? Yeah. You said Satan. Said Satan. Holy crap.
Did you believe in Satan?
There's her again. That's twice. I'm getting chills like a mother.
Yeah, and you know what's also wild? Think about it, right? Inside that building, it's like a bunker. It was a rocket facility. You can't get radio frequency. So, like, I mean, you're not getting reception in there. If you turn that thing on, you try to tune into one of the local channels, you don't get crap. You know.
So, have y'all like thought about, because I've got a spirit box. That is, it will always say the same name. Like I will get Beth every time I use it, everywhere I go. And so I think there's something stuck in that. So like with the warrior, that's where I got it from. I'm trying to bring some psychics out to see if they can get me some names of some people that died there and not tell them about this. So I'm wondering, have y'all ever like done anything like that where you brought somebody out, see if they get some names, and then see if you can then get them through the, the devices?
Yeah, at other locations we have as well. Like even within Ovilus, there's the old Davy schoolhouse. And the school, well, they had the actual school, which is like one of the oldest schools in Fort Lauderdale. It was the first school built out in the edge of the Everglades back when Davy was like just turned into farmland. And then they had 2 pioneer homes that were down the street, but they were going to be demolished, but they saved them and moved them in the same location. But there's this house called the Beeley House. And what's really cool was we were doing like an EVP session and we were getting the name Paul all the time. And
not just that one session. I mean, we kept getting Paul every time we went through different stuff. Through through an EVP,
it gets stranger than that. So we had the museum director because she likes to investigate with us. And it's good to have her because like if something comes up, does it relate to the history?
We can ask her.
Then we were getting one time we got on the Obulus, and how random is this hammer?
So the first thing I'm thinking is, I'm like, hammer. Did Paul get killed with a hammer? Did he get hit with a hammer? I'm thinking hammer. Like, I'm like, what is this?
I went the MC hammer when you said hammer.
Yeah. Can't touch this. That was bad. Anyway, so there was a guy that spent a lot of time there at that house. He was friends with the Neely family.
What about when we had Carly on?
Oh,
she was pulling tarot cards.
Yeah, and
so we try all kinds of different stuff, right? So we went live with a friend of ours, Carly, that pulls tarot cards in that same location, and she ended up pulling out the poison card twice, and we're like, huh. So then we went to the history director there, and we said, listen, this is what we got. We got the name Paul, we got the word hammer, and we got poison twice. What does that mean? And like her jaw dropped.
Yeah,
and she's like, there was a guy that lived here for a while, years ago, that his house was wrecked in a hurricane, and he was staying here, and his name was Paul Hammer. His last name was Hammer.
How did he die?
He got bit by a rattlesnake twice.
Ooh.
And he died.
And on top of that, so while we were there, she's like, hey, Paul, what kind of instrument did you play? And he was like in the army band. And I got clarinet.
French horn.
She pulls a French horn. I always say clarinet. It don't matter. It's something.
The skin flute.
So,
that's what I was
thinking. So she pulls out a picture of Paul Hammer in the army uniform, like 1920s, holding the French horn.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty weird. That's like the wildest. But no, we get mediums as well. Like, I mean, almost even like with the tarot card, them able to pull out the poison card during this whole session. We're trying to figure out who we're
twice in a row, and he got bit twice. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's not a coincidence, man.
Yeah.
Something's going on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I stopped believing in coincidence a long time ago.
Exactly. So Mike, why don't you tell Stacy about the Delco? We do a little twist on the estimate.
I have heard of the Delco. Matt,
you're becoming famous, Mike.
Yeah, Matt has sent me videos on this.
Yeah, we're gonna do it with him. He has a location.
I just perfected the goggles to where I got them where I want them now, man.
Now, so what I wanted to ask: are they flashing? Are the lights flashing in a certain pattern?
No. So there's three ways that the device will do it. It'll either solid, or you can have them flash where it's just repeating a flash, or strobe where it's fast.
Right.
And personally, the way I originally designed them was to be solid red all the time. That was because that's what the Gansfeld experiment was, right? You take the ping pong balls, you cut them in half, put them over your eyes, red light. I wanted to make a portable version of that, and instead of having to carry all that stuff out to a haunted location, right? Ping pong balls, lights, this and that. My goal was to design a pair of goggles to bring with us portable, to mimic a Gansfeld experiment. And instead of a spirit box, instead of white noise with the Gansfeld, you're just listening to white noise, solid red lights, you zone out, you start to see stuff, hear stuff, switching the white noise out to a spirit box. And we're getting amazing results. Joe has done it. Eric's done it. We had a bunch of different people do it. All some outstanding results.
I was blurting out words that was we were at, I don't know if you've been down like towards the Keys, the last stop towards the Keys, the Last Chance Saloon.
Yeah.
That place is haunted, and we did an investigation there, and we did the Delco there, and I was able to blurt out words that related to a murder suicide that happened 5 years ago in a vacant lot next door.
Now, we didn't even know the names of anything until after
there was an 8-year-old boy that was murdered, and his last name was Cantos. So I said, boy, 8 years old, and Cantos. Like, how random is that? So what happened was
he was doing the session, and I was asking the questions. So I said, Cantos, what does that mean? And I was like, hey, anybody, does that relate? I said, the boy, 8 years old. And they started Googling it, and they pulled it up. And that was the last name of the child, the family. So the guy killed his wife in Miami, drove down to the bar, pulled into the parking lot, and killed his son, and then took his own life, all with wire ties around the neck. And he, doing the Delco, blurted out stuff that really.
And in the meantime, I'm seeing shadow figures like crossing in front of me, and like, how the hell am I going to see a shadow figure when I got these lights right in front of my eyeballs flashing? So that was sort of weird.
Right.
And I almost felt like something was as I was on stage, and I felt like someone was walking in front of me.
Yeah, there was like a little stage where a band would play. We set
Mm-hmm.
up and did it right there in the center of the stage.
And then the weird thing was, they always have a police officer that always checks on them when they're closing to make sure they don't get robbed. And he happened to be the first officer at the scene
of the crime,
of the murder suicide, and he took us to the spot, and we were doing EVP sessions and getting answers to questions that was relating to what we were doing inside the saloon. So that was pretty wild.
The cops like, you want to go there? I'll take you. Let's go. Come on. And we walked and we followed him. And he took us to exactly where the car was found.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so the most surprising evidence that I would say, and I'm going to call it evidence, is Joe was doing the Delco at the last. At the.
It's more interesting with Joe because he's sensitive. I'm not sensitive at all. So weird things happen to him while he's doing it.
Sensitive.
He's so sensitive.
My skin's so sensitive.
He'll tell you, he'll give you a hug, and they're free. So I don't know.
Right
Even though we call him the Puma.
Yeah. So he's sitting there, right? And he's doing the Delco, and I'm asking questions, and I'm like, it's the end of the night, and we had some guests there. We were doing like an event, and I said, all right, guys, we're gonna get out of here, and I just want to let you know that nobody that has permission to follow us out of here, this is where you are, this is where you're gonna be, and we'll come back and visit you, but you do not have permission to follow me or anybody outside of this building. And Joe, again, noise isolation headphones, Vic Firth, like drummers headphones, you can't hear through those sons of bitches. And he has the red lights over his eyes. He can't see anything. And he goes, that's what I hate about being dead, was his response to that.
Yeah.
And I was like blown away, man. So yeah, I'm trying to produce them where I can get them out. I'm like you, man. If we experiment something and we're getting results, I want people to try it. I want to see what other teams are getting. I want to see if it, there's teams out there that are like, all secretive. Like, what the hell is that going to do, man? We're in this for the same reason. We want to. It's experiments. We're trying to see what we can get. If we can get other teams doing same experiments as us and see what their results are, and if they line up, then that's when we got something going, right?
What was really wild was when we did the live at the Warthog recently, and Joe was there doing it again, and he was saying stuff that related to a kid that got killed across the street from electrocution. It was like after Hurricane Irma, and there was a wire cable in the water, and he walked into it, died by electrocution, and not supposedly, but during the live, we had someone in the chat that was good friends with that kid, and it was like really emotional. It's really, really wild.
We asked, she wanted us to ask in the chat if we could ask him if he remembers her, and we did an EVP session live, and it said, yes, I do. And she started crying. She got emotional in a good way.
Wow.
She was happy.
But Joe was calling out the kid's name that died.
Yeah, it's wild, man. You guys got to try it, dude.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we did something at I guess the craziest thing we've done is this thing called the World Gate, and we did it at the Conjuring House. Before I talk about that, we did this thing because the owner's like, the land's what's haunted. You should bury me and hand me a spirit box, right? So I was like, don't say that because we'll do it. He goes, do I dig the hole? And then so we did. So we put him in the ground and ran headphones down to him. And we had him mic'd up so we could hear in the library what was going on. And then we put RPG down the well, and same setup for him. And so we're doing like this, I guess that's this method, whatever. And they start talking to each other. One's out in a damn hole in the ground outside, and the other one's down the well, and they start talking to each other. And so that was strange. Like, and that went on for a minute, and then like the light in the room flashed where we were at, and so we stopped after that. But this World Gate
that's
thing,
awesome. I like that.
So the World Gate, the Nazis, they created this experiment to where they could like astral project or remote view the Americans, the coalition forces.
Right.
And in the 60s, the CIA redid the thing. They call it the Gateway Project. So I don't know if y'all have heard about that.
I'm familiar.
Anyways, we had a guy build it, and we did that there. Right. And so this is my one moment of proof of the paranormal, at least to me. And so it's like a frequency, a bunch of frequencies you listen to. You lay down and you got this like a mask, a sleep mask on. You're laying in a cot and he's playing these frequencies for like 47 minutes. And it makes you hallucinate.
That's like what the Gansfeld is, basically.
Dude, this shit was so weird, bro. Like, I seen my past, I seen my present, I seen my future. So in the Gateway Project, the CIA talks about this place called the Absolute, which is where you travel to when you're, I guess, astral projecting. And it was so strange. Like, I don't know how to say it, but we were thinking before we did it, it's like, okay, how can we actually prove these things? Because it's just a personal experience. So what we did is we exit interviewed everybody right after the experiment, but at different times, and everybody was isolated. They weren't allowed to leave their spot until we exit interviewed them. They told us what happened, and then they went off, and then the next one came in, and like 3 of us clicked out. 3 out of the 6 actually clicked out and traveled, or whatever the hell you call it. And our stories lined up. And then so after we're done with that experiment, because the thing was to open a portal, soon as we shut it off, there's this woman screaming in the house. And so they're like going through the house chasing this woman. Every time they get in the room where they heard the noise, she was in the next room. And they do this all the way up to the top room, the birthing room. And when they open the door, I guess on the SLS, there was a figure there for like 2 seconds. And then there was another scream, and then the figure went away. And that was like, because I was able to actually call my girlfriend and ask her, like, on camera. I was like, are you sitting on the couch in my spot eating something? Because that's what I seen, that's what I seen her. And like, my kids called me during the experiment. They seen some like fog going through the house.
Wow.
All this stuff happened at once and was so strange. And then like my buddy, he for some reason needed to call his mom, and him and his mom are like, don't talk. He didn't know why. And then like on the way home, his grandpa died. So it was just like,
oh wow. Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
the whole deal there was just crazy, man. But that was the World Gate experiment. If anybody ever can, like, if y'all reach out, y'all want like new shit built that don't nobody have, this guy named J.W. Prather, he makes the equipment for like Ghost Adventures and all these other shows. This dude, I mean, he can make you those REM pods and stuff if that's what you want. But like, you can sit there and come up with ideas with him, and then he'll build some brand new experiment or some shit. And
well, he's got that cool spirit box, that handheld one that takes out the noise.
That direct link.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what it's doing, it's like it's recording EVPs at the same time. But there's a mic in it, so you talk into that mic. And I butcher trying to explain this thing, but it's basically like a damn spirit box.
Yeah.
But you talk into it and stuff, and it's different in the spirit box. It's a unique item.
Yeah, definitely.
If you guys or anybody
you want one, you got to get on back order.
Stacy,
yeah, you do.
Stacy, this is for you and anybody else that's listening. I just recently was doing a little research and digging up some different things relating to what we're talking about. And if you want to, I guess I have it on my phone, so I gotta look up binaural beats, right? Binaural beats is basically those frequencies that people have been playing with and each frequency does a different thing, right? So I don't know if you remember years ago when they were talking about audio drugs, like it was like a big thing that swept the news for like a little while. It was like back in the early 90s. But basically what this is that there's an app too and a website, but it's binaural beats, and they have ones that mimic marijuana. There's ones that mimic cocaine. There's ones that mimic this, but it's just a frequency. And you put on the meditation blindfold.
Save money on weed.
Yeah, and you listen to these frequencies, and it takes about 30 minutes, just like the Gansfeld experiment, where you're listening to white noise and you're sensory deprivation, and they have different frequencies that do different things to your mind, and that's proven, right? The military has weapons that they can manipulate and change people's attitude and different things with frequency noise. Everything is vibration. So, but this is pretty neat, and I would look into it and check it out.
Jessica says they use that.
Oh, very cool. See that? Look at that. I'm smarter than I think.
There you go.
Very cool. So yeah, so some really neat stuff there too. And that's basically kind of how I came up with the Delco experiment was, sensory deprivation, frequencies, different things like that. And kind of, I came up with Eric, I think you still have a couple clips of his too. Do you have a hair?
Yeah, I have some evidence clips.
While you do that and roll those, I'm going to grab the goggles.
Okay, so where I'm going to go next is Econofina River.
Oh, Ecofina.
Right? Ecofina.
Yeah,
like
the water.
You got a pretty cool foot track there that I want everyone to see. So I will play that.
Got fishing here this afternoon. He kept hearing knocks on the other side of the bridge, and he kind of got startled after what he was hearing and left. And upon coming back, there was this big track I just showed coming up out of this water, right? So then we walk over here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the track, but we'll post some pictures in this video as well. This is one of the many reports we get from this area. So he's believing it walked over towards this bag of shrimp. And then as there's tracks all in here, and then we've got another nice, same size, 12-inch track running right. Here's the heel down here. And then the top of the foot would be up there. We're gonna keep looking around in the area with everything that's been going on out here. The guy was pretty frightened. I think it was the knocks that scared him out. And then to come back, and that track that I showed at the beginning of the video was actually wet. I'm about, what'd you say, 4 hours? Yeah. About 4 hours late on this, which is about as best as I can get, but the report getting to me and then me getting out here. So, something interesting, thought we would share it. The search continues.
So real quick, like when I see those footprints and stuff like that, I'm like, next time I go camping, I'm going to be more aware of my surroundings, because if you're not looking for it, you won't see that, right?
No. And the cool thing about that, I was just sitting at the house and the guy's like, yo, I just seen one, and it had walked up, I guess, come up out of there and stuff. And it's always good to be on site, like as soon as you can get there.
Yeah, definitely.
But there really wasn't nowhere you could go because like storms had rolled in, the water table was all up, so water everywhere. You really couldn't walk out nowhere. It was just right there on the pavement. Though. Yeah, that's coming straight up out the springs. It's just the river there gets, because that river is probably about 50 yards back there through the woods. Mm-hmm. But it was right up to the pavement. So I guess this thing just like waded up through and come and got his bait, and then rolled out.
You like some shrimps?
The stinkier, the better, from what I hear. So
that's what I was going to ask you, because that kind of triggered a question in my mind. Like, what do you think these things are eating?
Whatever they can. You know what I mean? They're big. I guess it'd be like an omnivore, so everything that they can get their hands on at any time. You know,
like us. They like those wild boars. Yep.
There's a lot of those, but once they get what I've noticed, and I've taken like 740 something reports in the state. It's more once they get older, you see a lot of the gray ones. That's what they see up around their house, like the older ones, the ones that like are either gray or like got some gray. And I think it's because they get to where they can't hunt no more. So they're coming up around the house to scavenge, you know, cat food and shit like that.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, you got something to say?
Yeah, I had. I'll let you get going here. But I think did we play all the? Did you play the one with the hair?
Oh no, but let's see here. That one. I'll play that real quick. And then I'm gonna thank Stacy for coming on the show. I'm gonna let him go after this.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go.
And we found a hair in one of the tracks. I'm gonna let David explain it to you, and as he collects it, he's all gloved up and ready to go.
Okay, I have my gloves on, I have my mask on. I'm ready to collect this. I got my tweezers. I'm ready to collect this hair that we found in this trackway, small trackway here in North Florida. And we come to realize upon further investigation that this trackway has been used more than once by Sasquatch. We came to that determination by some of the tracks having an older appearance than some of the fresher tracks that are further up the trail. And looking at some of these older tracks, I came across a hair in the bottom of one of these tracks. You can see the hair, the white hair, is right here. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and use a black background so Stacy can get a picture. This hair appears to be 4 to 5 inches long.
See it pretty good, bro.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Let me set that on that bag and let it focus. Come on, man, focus.
That wind's blowing.
Alright, now. There you go, you can see it. Yeah, it's not really focused that good, but you can see it. Yeah, there we go. It's good cool. Now. Alright.
Now, upon looking at it, looking at the morphology of the hair, it tapers down to a point at one end, and it seems like maybe it was broken off, or I don't know, there's no follicle on the hair. But that doesn't mean you can't tell anything from this hair. Some scientists will tell you if you don't have the follicle, you can't get DNA or things like that, but you can still identify exactly what species that this hair came from. You can look at the scale pattern, you know, does it have a medulla in it? Does it not have a medulla in it? You know, you can go ahead and solve those things before you send this hair off to get sampled, and your scientist will thank you for saving his time and money getting it done.
Wow, it was an old one.
Yeah, Matt showed when he was on the show. He showed his piece of hair. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, we couldn't get no DNA out of that one, unfortunately. They said we don't know what it is. So
really
interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. But yeah, we'll let you go. And hey, we really thank you for coming on tonight.
You want to let people know like where they can find you if you got anything coming up that you want them to see. Of course, we talked about the skunk ape experiments. You're having the North Florida Paracon that's coming up in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you know, just check us out online. Film streaming, the skunk ape experiments. Besides that, I'll be at Phenomenon here in a few weeks. If anybody's out in Utah and wants to come and hang out, I think everybody and their mother's going to be there. They have like 75 speakers or something. Travis Walton's going to be there.
Very
all
cool.
the guys from Skinwalker
KGRA is
Ranch
going to be there as well.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and what else? Well, we talked about the Paracon, and you know, besides that, just check out our YouTube, OutKast Paranormal, Bigfoot Stacy. You know, I'm on all social media, Bigfoot Stacy. It's kind of uniform across all of them. It's easy to find.
He's got awesome content.
Heck yeah. Check it out, guys.
So, and yeah, y'all just have to stay tuned because we're going to go and do an investigation ourselves. We're going to go down to that rocket place, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I appreciate y'all having me on, fellas.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, bub.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care,
Y'all
man.
have a good night.
You too. Bye. All right.
All right. That was
Cool dude.
interesting. Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Definitely. So Mike, oh, by the way, I forgot to do this. Usually I do it like earlier in the show. I just want to give a shout out to everyone here in the chat, always supporting us. Can't do this without you. And remember to tell all your friends to
we could do it without you, but it'd be pretty boring.
Yeah, it'd be boring. There'd be no one here. But it looks like we're getting some new people. So tell all your friends if they like the paranormal stuff.
And you want to get weird,
subscribe to War Party Paranormal and like us and comment and all that good stuff. And we're working on another live for you. It's coming Monday. We got a lot of good responses about our live paranormal that we did. So we're going to try to do more. It's kind of hard to do it on a Sunday. It's a work day, but we're going to try to get some more coming in the future. And one thing that's coming up that I want to give a special shout out to, Mike and I are going to be filming a future episode with Henry Lee, and we're going to be investigating with them next weekend. And that's going to be at the Gilchrist Jail up in Trenton, Florida. It's supposed to be super haunted. So we're doing a double header. We're going to be at Gilchrist and we're going to be at the train depot. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that'll probably be towards the end of the month because we'll have to like edit it and go through all the footage.
Oh, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very cool. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And we forgot. We got a couple of repeat announcements that we want to tell everyone about. And one of them involves someone named by El Puma, right?
Yes, sir.
So he just has a new episode out on Florida Weirda Podcast. And we'll just play his quick trailer. Here we go.
So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Florida? I'm sure some of you will imagine soaking up the sun on one of our world-renowned beaches or cooling off in one of our refreshing natural springs. Others will imagine dancing all night in one of Miami's famous nightclubs, or maybe taking in some thrills and chills in one of our many amusement parks. We may be the vacation capital of the United States, but there's a darker side to Florida, one that you may not have heard of. We are home to the elusive skunk ape, and to some of the most well-documented UFO encounters in history. We've been a hunting ground for some of America's most vicious serial killers, and we have more haunted locations than I could even begin to count. The Sunshine State is full of stories like these and more, so come on down south and get ready, because shit's about to get weird.
He just dropped a new one, so check it out. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, last
Key
Wednesday.
West related. So yeah, check that out. And we like to support all our team members. And we got another one we're going to show you, and then we're going to sign off. And Franny, she's coming out with a new season for her show, and she has a trailer. And go check her out as well. You want to check out season 1,
Supernatural Eye.
Yep, and right here is one of the interviewees. He's on that bad boy. So let's play that one.
Coming up on season 2 of Supernatural Eye.
I always do that.
Okay.
Did I hit? Oh, the wall.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure.
Probably think that's fun.
Inside my shadow, I can hear you. Am I near you?
So we got a very talented group of people on our team. Also check out 305 Paranormal. They post up their YouTube videos and they're really good as well. And if you like the music and maybe you do videos and you want uncopyrighted music, go reach out to my boy Ernesto. You can catch him on Modern Minds on all social media networks. Just send him a message and he'll be more than happy to help you. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, he does some phenomenal work, and he'll custom write.
Very talented. Everyone
whatever you need. He did all the stuff for a lot of our videos, for Joe's, for Franny. So it's good stuff.
All right. Did I leave anything out?
No, I think we got it all.
Talk about you.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, speaking about YouTube and all that fun stuff, I got some of my own personal YouTube videos out there, some of the investigations that we do. I'll take some of the evidence and different clips that we have from our investigations. We'll use them here for this show. I'll take the rest of it and I'll make a YouTube video out of it. So check out my website here, FLA-paranormalresearcher.com. That'll link you to the War Party website. It'll also shows upcoming events from War Party, and then all my social media platforms as well. And then if you want to see the awesome content this dude puts out, he'll tell you.
Pardon me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Me? All right. Yeah, I try my best. If you want to find my personal content, it's right above me. Ghost Hunter of South Florida on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Also, of course, War Party Paranormal. War Party Paranormal website, warpartyparanormal.com. Everything is linked to that bad boy. War Party Paranormal YouTube. We're actually gonna be putting more videos on the War Party Paranormal YouTube page, not only the radio shows, but stay tuned for that. And and also for you folks that are closer to us, October 24th, we're having the world's largest ghost hunt at Yesteryear Village, featuring the Riddle House. If you're nearby, come join us, buy your tickets. We're going to be broadcasting live, and you can be a part of it, investigating with us. And
also,
go ahead.
No, finish up.
No, I'm done.
All right. No, I was going to say, guys, for the world's largest ghost hunt too, if you go to the worldslargestghosthunt.com, you can watch all the other teams stream live throughout the night, different investigations at different locations. It's going to be really cool stuff. And there was one last thing that I just forgot about. Oh, yeah. So if you're listening or you're watching, our main goal for War Party Paranormal, we kind of fell into this radio show.
Most important part.
The most important part is we kind of fell into the show. We got asked to do it. We love it. We do what we got to do. But the main goal for all our events, the radio show, and everything that
we're entertainers and helpers
to get our name out there, to help people that are having paranormal issues in their home or their business. We specialize in residential cases, and we stay with the clients and we help them through what they're going through, and we'll find out what's going on and here to help. So if you need to reach out to us,
don't charge a penny.
Never charge. Nonprofit organization. You reach out to us through the website, and we'll get in touch with you.
For real. You want to take it home?
Let's do it, guys. All right, guys. Thank you. And don't forget
everybody.
To subscribe. Oh, real quick, if you're still here, in the comments, put the word Skunk Ape, and you'll be entered to win that gift card for $50 to the Ghost Hunter store. And it doesn't matter if you did it. What?
When are we drawing it?
The first episode of September.
There you go.
Which will be 2-3 weeks.
It'll be the 12th, I think.
Yes.
We won't be on Labor Day, but we're going to be rebroadcasting our live show from previous.
And so if you guys have already entered in one of the other episodes, it's okay. Do it again. Your name will go in again. The more times you enter, the more times your name goes into the hat. So just because you entered in one other episode doesn't mean you can't do it to this one. Plus, it helps us because if you comment, it gets our content out there. So, guys, share this, like, subscribe, and everything, and we'll see you not next weekend because it's a holiday, but we'll be here. We're going to be replaying the live episode, so come check that out. But we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.